Welcome to Roots and Branches of Lehi, the podcast where we get to know the faces, stories, and lives that make up our community. I'm Ryan Harding, and I started this podcast as a way for us all to connect with the people we live alongside. Growing up in a small town, I learned that connections go beyond blood. They're built through shared experiences, friendships, and the moments we celebrate together. Each week, we'll sit down with someone new from Lehi to share their unique story, their passions, and what they love most about living here. So whether you've been here for years or just arrived, join us as we deepen our roots and reach out to our branches one story at a time. Welcome, Paul Binns, to Roots and Branches of Lehi. Grateful to
be here.
And I shouldn't just call you Paul Binns, Mayor Paul Binns. So that is the title that you have right now.
That is the title I currently occupy for a time.
Yes,
that's right.
Yes, and it is a position of honor. That's something that you're serving all of us, right? Public service is what you're doing. So
that's what we do.
So talk to me about that, because is public service something you've always wanted to kind of get into and stuff? Or
so that's a great question, and the whole reason I ever ran for mayor is because I grew up in a home where my dad always said, "You give back."
Okay,
and so that was our mantra. When it snowed when I was a kid, we grabbed shovels and we went and served people.
Yeah,
and it wasn't for any other reason, and that's what we did. That was the rule of the house. And so as I got older and my parents aged, and that was always something that was installed as you give back.
Yeah.
Communities operate because people are willing to give back, and that's kind of where I landed. And I thought about running. I've had some time. My kids are older now, and I have a little extra time at home. My business is successful, and I can have wonderful staff that take care of it there, and I have a few minutes that I could step in. So I thought, why not? Let's give it a try, and here we are.
And here you are.
What a great opportunity. But that's why we do what we do, is people that give back in communities create strong communities.
And I'll second that. I'm doing this podcast for a little while. That is one of the things that stands out to me the most is Lehi is made up of a lot of good people. Oh. You can't point to any one person that's like, hey, Lehi is great because of so. I would disagree. I would say Lehi is great because of hundreds, thousands of people that are doing what you're talking about, giving back to the community.
Lehi is Lehi because of the people.
Yes.
And I back that 1,000% is what makes us Mayberry or such a great place is it's the residents and the people who work here.
Yeah.
And that's what makes us who we are.
Yeah.
And it's the backbone and the spine of our community, which is, it's a pretty special place.
So talk to me, let's go back in time a little bit. Are you from Lehi originally? Where'd you grow up?
No, so I grew up I grew up in West Valley City of all places.
Okay.
Went to elementary and junior high school there. Then we ended up moving to the Taylorsville, Murray area, and I ended up going to Murray High School. Married a girl from Kearns, Utah, of all places.
Nice.
After our marriage, we moved to West Valley. Then we ended up moving out to West Jordan. We lived there for 12 years.
Okay.
And I had a job that brought me to Utah County.
Okay.
I commuted to Utah County for about 3 of those years, and the commute started getting longer and longer, as everyone in Lehi understands commutes.
Yes.
And lo and behold, we had smaller children at the time, and moving was the answer to buy time at home. And so we talked about it. We came down and looked, and Lehi is where we chose. We live right off of Pioneer Crossing because Pioneer Crossing offers quick access to a freeway, which we love. And not everyone loves quick access, but we did at the time, and we still do. And we've been here almost 11 years. So it's been a great place to raise our kids. My kids attended some elementary school here, all of junior high and high schools.
Okay.
Yep.
And do you still have kids at home, or So
I have my oldest is 20. She works here in town, and my youngest just graduated from high school last week. So she's headed up to Weber State. So we're moving into a new part of life,
new phase.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. And again, we have the time to give back, and so that's kind of where we're at right now.
And that is good. That's the kids moving off and stuff like that. So hey, how do I use my time? And I think public service is obviously a great place to do it. So what's some of the things? Talk to me about one of the things that have surprised you the most now about being mayor. You've been mayor now for what, 6 months?
140 days. 140,
yeah.
So 5 now, almost 5. I would tell you probably one of the biggest surprises I have is how we get information and what we do with that information. So what surprised me, and I was one of them, is you would see one item or 2 items and automatically assume that everything fell on such an item. The city is so much more vast than that. We get, I think, the national news, and I think these national places with federal government and state government are so massive that we get caught in silos. And what I would tell you that I've learned in Lehi City is all of the things. There are so many things going on, and you got to get yourself up to speed with what's going on. Yeah, there are some challenges. We deal with challenges. Challenges tend to be the things that we hear about the most, but there are so many other things happening with high school graduations, teams winning state championships, and we had a young man in Lehi City place 30th in the National Spelling Bee. I mean,
Wow.
those are things that you would never really know, right? But you would know that we haven't passed the budget yet because that's the hot item in the newspaper that you see. And when you see that, you would automatically then potentially assume that, oh, the city's in trouble, here we are, right?
Yeah.
When it's really just one item.
Yeah.
So that would probably be my biggest surprise, is just how much and how vast and how great the things that are going on. Do we have challenges? The answer is yes. And I wouldn't shy away from that. But ultimately, what a great place we live in. And hopefully our residents know that, man, there's so many good things going on.
Sure.
So that's what I would tell you.
So you mentioned national news and different things like that. So how often do you think that affects kind of local things, right? So we look at nationally, that dominates, right? We got the war in Iran, we got Trump, people love him, hate him. Why does that always come down into local stuff where, hey, this is your neighbor. This isn't some evil person.
It's funny, and that's a great question, and I'm still learning that, but I think the national gets the news, right? That's what we tend to pay attention to.
Yeah.
But Lehi City doesn't run like a national government does.
Yeah.
We are forced to balance a budget. We have to balance a budget. We can't operate without a balanced budget.
Yeah.
I was not nominated by a Republican or a Democratic party.
Yeah.
I was elected by the mayor, or by the citizens who live here.
Yeah.
We have to provide service. If someone dials 911, the city has to respond. So in a nutshell, it's so much different from if there's a pothole in the street, we have to fix it.
Yeah.
And so those services are on demand at a far quicker rate than in a federal or even a state. Those governments run at a far slower rate versus a city government that's daily and very active. So that's another thing that I think there's some misconception out there. If you want to change in government, the quickest, easiest way to change it is on the civic level.
Yeah.
It's right here in Lehi City. I mean, I had a nice lady I ran into at the Memorial Day program on Memorial Day that had a question about some weeds growing up through the sidewalk. No problem. Give me an address. I'm happy to send our people out to make sure that those are cleaned up. On the federal level, if you saw something and you made a phone call, they'd go, no, where are you from? No, that's not even a blip on a radar.
Yeah.
That's the difference. And so city government's very reactive, it's very on the ground, and it's very today. And it has to operate in that, or we would be, boy, I tell you, we'd be in trouble. I mean, when someone dials 911, we come. Our people respond. And when there's weeds in your sidewalk, you can make a phone call or send an email, and we know.
I like that, because again, the weeds. It's funny, that example, because weeds, there's nothing that's stupid. But the fact that on a granular level, and so I guess that's one of my questions too, is how much obviously as mayor, you're over a lot of things, right? And so you mentioned weeds and stuff like that, but like, how involved are you on kind of granular on everything? Because you probably can't on everything. Not everybody that has weeds can call you. Or I know the metering, you got things happening with the changing out of the meters and some of the sinkholes that are happening and stuff like that. Like how granular are you on some of these things?
That's good. It's funny you ask, because I get granular on some, right? So if someone asks me about weeds, and here's my approach to this is I want to be available.
Yeah.
So if people want to talk to me about that, I am happy to answer that question, and I know who to call at the city to do it. But I will give you our city administration and our city departments are the best out there.
Good.
So I can call a guy in the water department, and I did this the other day. I was driving to the gym, and one of my neighbors, we just had the metering done in our neighborhood, and they did it in January. And so here we are in May. We're waiting for grass, still patiently waiting for grass.
Yeah.
I know a guy. I could make that call, but I know they're very busy, and it'll come.
Yeah.
But I had a neighbor who theirs is probably sunk 3 or 4 feet.
Yeah.
So it's like a hole.
Yeah.
So I drove by, I saw it. I went, that's interesting. So I called the water department.
Yeah.
And I just said, hey, here's an address. I think there may be a leak. And the water department goes, we'll check on it, right? Instantaneously, I have someone out there in 2 to 3 hours, and I have a phone call back that says it wasn't a leak, it's just sunk over time, we'll fill it. And it was filled by 5. So do I get way involved in the granular? I don't. I let those guys handle their business. But when I get approached, 100% I know who to call, we'll call, and we'll do our best to make sure that, and if it's weeds that bother you, and this wonderful lady, the weeds in the sidewalk were important to her.
Yeah.
And if they're important to her, it's important to me. And if she wants to come talk to me about it, then I'm all in to help.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we need to be. And if people approach our staff, we need to be the same of, hey, this is an issue, what can you do? It doesn't mean we jump.
Yeah.
And you say how high and we just do it.
Yeah.
Some of those things take some time and whatnot. We still haven't cleaned up the weeds, just so you know, where this lady suggested we should.
Sure.
But it is on a document and it will be done over time. So. But I think the granular level, I like to be involved in that. I like to, but I don't need to know everything, and I'm happy to help people that, the sweet lady, I mean, that's important to her. And if, like I said, it's important to me, if it's important to someone else. And that's how I try to govern and help people is I'm open. Come talk to me. Yeah. If it bugs you, I'm in.
On that note, do you pay attention to some of the social media pages that it seems like a lot of times a lot of those sites end up being places for people to complain, right? And stuff like that. Do you pay attention to some of those? And again, the problem with social media is a lot of times you do just get these loud voices that are complaining. And so the vast majority are probably fine and they're quiet.
But I do. I read, I troll it quite often.
Okay.
I see it. I see our responses. Yeah. The communication department happens to be right down the hallway from my office, so I walk by it every day. Yep. So we do know what's going on. And to our communications department's credit, those people are real busy trying to make sure that we're answering the questions and getting an answer. Again, it may not be to the speed our residents want it back. Yeah, you have a sinkhole. We know we're coming. But we're aware of it, and it's a great. Social media is a great communication way. It helps us understand. It's great that you can take a picture and go, hey, this tree, there's a leak, and we can get someone out there. So those are good. But yeah, you run into some very squeaky wheels. Sometimes those wheels are broken. And so you have to work through that. But yeah, it's still a great way for us to serve and to be out there.
I asked what surprises you. What surprises you in a positive way now working with, you mentioned the city and stuff like that. Anything surprise you about that part?
I would tell you probably the biggest surprise, and I was this guy. I always thought that the city was out to get me.
Sure.
Does it feel like they're out to get me? You own and operate a business. The fire marshal walks in our businesses from time to time to inspect.
Yes.
And we think to ourselves, he's out to get me.
Sure.
He's really not.
No.
When you understand the purpose of why he's there, you're like, thanks for coming. That's the big surprise to me, is the aha of these people aren't out to get me. They're out to make sure our city's safe. They're out to make sure that if there were a problem, if there were a fire, they would know where to go, that there are fire extinguishers on site that work.
Right. Sure.
So that's just one example, but that's probably the biggest thing for me is just how great these people are. Like when the power goes out in the city, I get a text. This is the power's out in this grid. And to watch our people respond is incredible. To watch our people respond when we know it's going to snow and plows go on trucks. Doesn't mean we're going to plow you very first, but we'll get there. To see these people rise to that occasion is powerful, and it's incredible to watch them work and do their thing. And it's like we talked about, we have the best people, and these people take care of their business. And that's probably the biggest surprise to me, is they're not out to get you. They're really out to help you and serve you in the very best way that they can. Police aren't really interested in necessarily pulling you over, but if it's unsafe, they want to make sure that you're safe and others are safe. Sure. And so maybe my perspective has changed in that direction. Sure. But these people are unbelievable. Our citizens equally are as impressive, and people helping people, and it's but again, that's what makes Lehi. That's what makes us so special.
Yes, I agree. I agree with that. Is that already answered this, but I'll ask this question: is there something that you would want people to? So your perspective has changed. Not everybody is going to be in mayor, right? Not everybody's going to be in leadership. So is there something that you wish every citizen understood this about the city? And maybe you've already said that.
I would say get involved. You know what? Come to a city council meeting, or turn it on, or watch a city council meeting, or come to the Memorial Day program, or come join during Lehi Roundup Week. Come be part of the community, and you'll see it. And come with a good attitude of, hey, let's go enjoy this time that's going on, or whatever. Or when was the last time you walked up to a police officer and said, hey, tell me about yourself. What's your name? So those are, I think, opportunities that our citizens can really take and go, man, that police officer's a regular guy. He has a family at home. He's a regular good person. That firefighter, what a great person they are. The guy who's fixing a pothole. Those are opportunities for us, right? And so those would be, if you jumped on any of that would be it. So just get involved and reach out kindly, and you'd be surprised what you get back.
I love one of the things you just said there, because that's one of the main purposes that I have this podcast, is I think if we know people, there's a lot less contention. There's a lot less finger pointing. There's a lot, because if we just know, if you talk to that police officer, all of a sudden, instead of just representing the law and he's this guy that's going to hurt me, it's like he's a normal guy.
He's a member of our community.
He's a member of our community.
He's a regular guy with a family and everything else.
And I think that helps to humanize people, because I think when we demonize them, or just put them at a distance,
Yep.
it's easier to hate them or to say things that we probably shouldn't say.
Yep. Number one game. And quite honestly, as the mayor, that's what I work on every day.
Sure.
I want to be available.
Sure.
I know I'm the mayor. I know that's a 5-letter word.
Sure.
For some people, that truly is a 5-letter
Sure.
word, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I represent Lehi City. I tell everybody all the time, Lehi is imprinted on my forehead. And wherever I go, whether that's in Washington, D.C., and I'm fighting for another post office in Saratoga Springs so that we can help our post office not be quite so busy,
Sure.
I represent Lehi City and the values and what we are here.
Yeah.
And I take that very personally. And that's my job. That's what I've been asked to do. And tasked to do it,
Sure.
and to do it the very best that I can. And I think that's the key to local government is how do you get out and do that, even on a state or even on a local or on a federal level.
Yeah.
These people are available. But we demonize them. We silo them and we put them in that place. And like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a very bad person.
Yeah.
It's not. They're just working through it too. They just may see it a little differently than you do. And sometimes there needs to be some understanding and work. And you may never come to an agreement. You don't have to. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
But you don't have to knock down, drag it out, and fight.
Yeah.
You can just walk away and go, okay, he doesn't see it the way I see it, and that's okay. We'll move on.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of it, and that's kind of the fun part. But ultimately, it's kindness and reaching out to people. And hey, I'm the mayor, but I live here. I have a family. I have a wife and 2 kids that struggle with day-to-day stuff too, just like every other family in Lehi does. So that's what makes it so great.
So let's talk about, you've had council meetings now and stuff like that. Obviously the budget, you mentioned the budget and stuff like that. From what I understand, it was talking about a budget increase. I think that got voted down.
Yep.
It wouldn't have cost too much, but for some, too much is too much and stuff like that. And so there's obviously both sides to this. Talk to me about that.
Sure.
How was that? Because that was probably one of your first major
that's
meetings.
yeah.
Okay. So talk to me about that.
So I'll give you kind of some rundown. So we've been working on this. Budget season starts in January. We have to pass a budget by state law by the end of June. So we are forced to pass a budget. So initially what we do is we go to our departments and we go, hey, what are your needs? What are you lacking? Do you need people? And we kind of go through all that. The need list that comes in then sits on my desk with an executive finance team.
Okay.
And we look at all those needs and we go, we can't do that one, we can't do that one, we can't do that one. Or what's nice, and this year we got involved, is I can take a piece from this department and put it in this department, and it costs us no money.
Okay.
So I understand that the tax that is collected is, in my mind, sacred. My job is I've been tasked to spend that. That's your money, that's my money, that's everyone's money. And so that's a pretty daunting task.
Sure.
And so you take all that in, you take all the needs of the city, you take all how we operate. Are we high, are we low? What's efficient, what's inefficient?
Yeah.
And you break through that for about 6 weeks, and it's gory. It gets a little gory from time to time.
Sure.
Because you're talking about people, you're talking about incomes, you're talking about families. I mean, all of it comes into play. And so what happened is I eventually came to the spot where we needed an additional $1.7 million this year.
Okay.
And that was for what I felt comfortable to raise to get us at a very operable, where we can continue to provide A+ service.
Sure.
And so I present that, I stick my name on it, mayor's budget, and then it goes to the council. And then the council gets it, and they hold the purse strings. They can say yay or nay, they can make adjustments. So the council felt very strong that they didn't want any increase of any kind, which is great. That's their job to do it.
Yeah.
My job was to present a plan. They looked at my plan and said, hey, we don't want to do it with the tax increase.
Sure.
So we had a meeting, and what we do then is they give us what they think, and then we ask them, hey, what's important then? I have all these strings that have to be pulled. What are the most important strings that you feel?
Sure, where are we going to cut, essentially, right? If you don't want to increase then where are we cut?
Yep.
Okay.
Where do we pull and what do we?
Yeah.
So they gave us those. We go back, that finance team, we go back and we look at it, and we just proposed an alternative budget last night, and that's out there. You can see it with no tax increase of just how we're going to manage through it. And it looked pretty good, to be real honest with you. Council got it last night. There's a few other questions, so we'll go back to the budget committee, in fact, tomorrow, and we'll sit at the table again and, again, go through the numbers and see efficiently what you can do and what you can't do without cutting our service, because we owe the service to the people of Lehi who pay for that service. So you have to go in and massage it a little bit. So we'll go back in and massage it as tight as we can get it, and then we'll represent it to the council with their suggestions of what they would like to see. We'll get it back to them, and then at some point they'll pass it But we're down, to be honest with you, we're down within $300,000.
Okay.
So it's not like we're so far out of the field.
Yeah.
We're within the infield now. We can make some of those adjustments, and then we'll end up passing it, and away we go. So, and then again, we'll start this process all over again in January.
It starts over again. Sure.
It starts over again. But that's the beauty of it. And it's the beauty of electing officials that look at this stuff that you trust and say, hey, look at this for us, and away you go. So that's been the budget process. It's been a great experience.
Yeah.
Hard.
Sure.
Very difficult, but hard, but doable. And it takes a room of adults to walk through it and talk through it. But we're there. So we're close enough. We will continue, just for myself, being the executive, we look at this stuff all the time, and we'll look a little deeper now that we've been in, and we know a little deeper of where to look coming for the coming year.
Okay.
And if not, then we'll look at it again and go, hey, we have an issue right now. Gas went from $2.80 to $5.
Yeah.
We still put gas in fire engines.
Sure.
We still put them in police. So some of those things change a little bit.
Sure.
So we'll kind of see where we land next year, but always something.
Yeah.
But that's the budget process. That's been in front of us. Council last night opted for, we're going to take it back to the table here tomorrow. We'll remassage a couple of things, and then I think we'll be there.
And is the council exactly that, a council? Are they just a bunch of naysayers, or are they actually trying to hey, let's try to fix this? You mentioned adults in the room. Are they trying to help you with that?
You know what? I think they are. I think the hard part is when you get 5 council members, everyone, and there's 6 of us.
Yeah.
We all see it just a smidge differently.
Sure.
And so it's working on those little itty bitty differences and pulling them back to the table. And I think we're there. And they're working together to try to figure that out.
Sure.
And they talk. Hey, where are you at on this? Hey, how do you feel about this? I ask. I'll reach out and go, hey, tell me your feelings on this. And we work through those.
Yeah.
And we try to do it in a way that we're not lambasting each other. It probably sometimes appears that way.
Sure.
Because there are shots taken from time to time.
Sure.
Well, with the politics. But ultimately, I think that we're working pretty good to get there, trying to get through some of those differences to make sure it works. Because ultimately, it has to work for the city of Lehi.
It has, and I guess that would probably be one of the things that scares me with politics is because and you're a business owner yourself, right? I like just working with people. Hey, what makes sense? Let's work together to try to solve a problem.
Yep.
But sometimes politics is, we're working together to solve a problem, but I also have my own agenda, which is I want to appear to be really good at this because I want to later on. I mean, that's the problem with politics on a national level is it seems like they're social media. They're not actually working for me anymore. They're trying to rile up people and stuff like that. So that's sometimes what's scary about politics to me, because
it's alive and
I like it way better, right? It's just we just work to solve a problem.
And it's alive and well.
Yeah.
Even on our level, right? There are people that are working maybe for the next election, right?
Sure.
I would say that's what scares me probably the most.
Sure.
Is I was elected to run this for 4 years.
Yeah.
I was not promised after that.
Yeah.
And to be quite honest with you, I don't even worry about that.
Sure.
My job is to run Lehi for the next 4 years to the very best of my ability.
Yes.
And that's what people elected me to do. And so I don't ever want to get lost in this quote unquote re-election cycle thing.
Yeah.
If I run again in 4 years and you liked what I did, then great. Vote for me. If you didn't, the beauty is you can vote me out. And I love that.
Yes.
I think that's the greatest part of what we are. And it's all out there. You can see everything I've done and said. I have nothing to hide.
Yeah.
And if for some reason in 4 years you like someone's plan better than my plan of what you got over the last 4 years, by all means.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
And I go back to my business. I come to see you. Life goes on. And if we could operate in that world versus the election cycle and the politics that's become so polarized, and I think that's what happens. And so it just doesn't work necessarily in that fashion anymore.
Sure.
Not that it probably ever did, but
probably never did perfectly, but it
has heated up over time.
It has heated up, it seems. But I do love that attitude, and I appreciate you. You're the kind of politician I would like then in that regard, because you're there to, hey, I just want to make the city better. I live here. This is it. You know what I mean? And I think that helps too, because you look at some of the problems. So I'll go on a national level. You got Social Security that needs to be fixed, stuff like that. Neither party wants to fix it because they know that they'll upset people.
Right.
And so then you get unelected. So if you're a career politician, you don't want to do that. No. If you're going in there to fix something and then get out, then yes, you would want to fix it, right? And so I think there's probably some on a city level where there's problems that we have, and yes, I know that to touch this is quote unquote political suicide, but it has to be fixed, right? And maybe we don't have those kind of pending problems like Social Security that has a deficit issue.
Well, we have hard problems, though.
But I'm sure,
you look at budgets. Yeah, there are some tough problems. And what if I do vote no?
Yeah.
And there's 50% that aren't going to like it.
Yeah.
I have to remind myself every day, and I try to do this every day, only 50% of the city voted for me.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And I'm okay with that. And unfortunately, I'm not going to make everybody happy.
Yeah.
That sweet lady that wants the weeds gone, she's unhappy that they're there.
Yes.
But unfortunately, I can't make everyone happy, and I can't make everyone, nor do I want to.
Yeah.
Because we don't want a city of drones.
Yes,
we want a city of charactered people.
Yeah.
And so not everyone will be happy with everything that happens, but from each decision that gets made, some will be happy, some may. My dad always said, a third you'll upset, a third don't care, and a third will love you.
Yeah.
And it's working through your thirds. But at the end of the day, guess what? We work with all thirds.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it all.
Sure, you represent everybody, even not just the people that voted for you, right?
That's correct.
That's what you're saying. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that. So talk to us about, obviously a mayor is not king, and so you can't do, all these things, right? But talk to me about, obviously, goals that you have for the city. Some things that, hey, I would assume you already mentioned you're at that spot in your career where I want to give back to the community, right? And so, hey, I want to make things better. What are some of those goals that you have?
Good question. I have really focused. So as the executive of the city, that's really my job. I run the city office. I have responsibility to our employees. So I don't have a vote, a legislative vote, unless there's a tie or if we're missing a person.
Sure.
So I don't carry that part of it. I don't legislate. I can bring things that they can legislate, but ultimately my job, and here's how I've approached it, and here's how I want to continue to go on, is building relationships with those that will help us build out our city.
Okay.
So I have worked real hard on a relationship with UDOT, with UTA, with Saratoga Springs, with Eagle Mountain, with Highland, Alpine. Our neighbors are our most important assets.
Yeah.
Because right now we're getting squoze from the west. And so I have to work with Mayor Karn. I have to work with Mayor Gray.
Yeah.
Mayor Gray grew up here.
Yeah.
He knows Lehi very well.
Yeah.
But we have to work with these people in order to create an easier pathway forward,
Sure.
which then pulls in UDOT, who's fixing Pioneer Crossing,
Yep.
who's building 2100 North, who we're now looking at extensions across lakes. We're looking at building out 1900 South so that we can get people through at a better pace.
Yeah.
So the infrastructure to me is very important. The hard part with the infrastructure is we don't control it all.
Yeah.
The big parts of the infrastructure come from relationships that we have with others that can build it.
Okay.
And so that's what I focus on quite a bit is how are our relationships with UDOT? Do they understand truly what we need? Do they understand the urgency? Because when they do, they're willing partners. They understand. They know. They know how packed I-15 is. It's no secret to them. And so when we sit down and meet, and we can give other solutions to get through some of the infrastructure needs that we have. So that's my big focus right now is building out those relationships with our partners to really make Lehi continue to shine and to really focus on who we are. We have 5.5 million square feet of Class A office space here. Yeah. We have the Silicon Slopes, which drives massive parts of the world right here. We have a guy here that deals in quantum computers. This stuff he talks about blows my mind, but they're here. Yeah. They're right here in our community. And so how do you continue to grow that community? On the flip side is, are we business friendly? Is it easy for you to come here and do business? We want it to be. Yeah. Is it easy for our people to get to commerce? Stores, all those things that are important to our day-to-day life. Is our rec center up to date? Is it in a place where you and your family can come participate? Is it too full? Yep. Is it out of date? So my job is to look at all that, and I take that's what I do. But I would tell you my goal number one right now is helping get some of this infrastructure set at a more advanced, quicker rate, so that we can move through here at an easier pace. It's expensive here. Lehi's expensive. It is that way for a reason of who lives here, but we have good neighbors, like I said, who help us in tremendous ways. Yeah. The executives live here in Lehi, the workers live in Saratoga Springs and out in Eagle Mountain where they're building data centers and manufacturing. It's crazy, and that's where now we're going out there, but the head offices are sitting right here in our hometowns. That's kind of where I'm at. That's what I focus on a day-to-day basis is where are we at with businesses, with commerce, with who's coming, and how are we going to get them here, and how are we going to get them out.
Yeah. I love that. And obviously that is a priority for, I think, all of us, right? Yeah. The traffic and different things like that. Yep. I think when I interviewed Mayor Johnson, he was, all roads go through Lehi.
It all comes here.
It all comes through here. Yep. And so you mentioned relationships, because obviously, you don't control things, but you can help facilitate things, it sounds right. There is a role. And so talk to me about, because obviously you're new to politics too. Yep. And I think sometimes if we talk about somebody that's in politics for a long time versus somebody that's brand new, That's probably something you had to overcome in this last election, right? Because you had a lot of people running, hey, I've been doing this for a long time. I have these relationships, stuff like that. Talk to me about that, because there's two paths, right? Hey, I'm brand new to politics, so I bring a fresh insight. The other side is, hey, I've been doing this for a long time. I have these relationships. I don't know. I'm not sure I have a question there, but talk to me about that.
So I'll give you an example. So the post office.
Yeah.
Our post office in Lehi City services 100 square miles.
Okay. Wow.
Okay, so and most people probably wouldn't even guess. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know that. So you look at our Main Street, right? Main Street, just right outside your office window, is an awesome road, but it's overused.
Yeah.
And so you look at why is it? Number one, it's the main vein to I-15.
Yes.
So it will always be a main vein to I-15, which is going to cause some issues there. So what then relies on it? A lot of our outside traffic may be coming just simply to the post office. So in working with Mayor Karn, Saratoga Springs, and Mayor Gray in Eagle Mountain, there's a piece of land that Saratoga Springs went to Representative Owens, Burgess Owens, and said, hey, here's a piece of land. Why don't we swap with the federal government? That way you guys get it for free, and you can build a post office here, which takes off us. So the three of us got together. We looked at it. We're all three new mayors, by the way. Both of those did serve on a city council, so they had a little bit of that experience. We sat down with Mr. Owens and said, hey, how do we do this? So we went through the whole process. We had to go to a hearing in Washington, D.C. I mean, when they say it's an act of Congress, getting a post office truly is an act of Congress.
Okay.
So the three of us were out there for meetings.
Yeah.
Sure enough, and we sat in a hearing, all three of us, and talked about why it would be important to build a post office out there. So those are small things that you probably I never would have thought about.
Yeah. No, actually, I like but you're trying to get.
But that's it. How does that relationship work? How do the three of us work together and go, I want as much out as I can get out. You want it there. Mayor Gray wants it. So we collaborate and work together.
Yeah.
And then when we go to Congress, it's three cities, not one.
Yeah.
And it brings some strength to the table.
Sure.
And that's the key. With UDOT, we need strength. It's not just Lehi that has the problem. Eagle Mountain has to come through here. Saratoga Springs comes through here. American Fork has to come through here. Alpine has to come through here. So you work with these people collaboratively in a way that we can get stuff done. And your voice tends to be a little louder, and it tends to be a little clearer when you're not swinging the bat all by yourself. So that's the collaboration that has to happen. Do we all agree on all the stuff? The answer is no. But we can work through some of those things. And government is the give and take, right? I'm happy to give some things depending on what I get in return. So those are all things that get negotiated and pushed through. But that's just one example of why collaboration is important and why you have to work together. And I can't be a stink when I walk in and I go, I don't like Mayor Karn, so I could care less about your post office. Yeah. Meanwhile, in my office, I'm like, how do I get traffic off Main Street?
Yeah.
Right.
Again, you have different goals, but with the same or the different ways to go about that same thing, moving the post office.
Yep.
You have a reason is, hey, less traffic. He's wanting it closer to home.
Yep. And it all works together.
It all works together.
So you collaboratively come together. How do we make this work? Representative Owens was wonderful in helping us do that. Is there a new post office out there? Not quite yet. It still takes about a year for that process to happen, but it's underway. It's happening, and that's a lot.
So it did get approved then.
It's going well. It's not fully approved. It's been heard.
Okay.
So once it goes to that hearing, then it goes up the levels.
Okay. But odds are good, you'd say?
I'd say good, yeah.
Okay.
I think good. I think with the federal, if you're good, I think you're in a good spot.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I think
so.
You're new. I don't.
That's what I would tell you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, good. That would be good. I think that's a wise move there then.
Yeah.
Okay. And was that transition, like getting to know these different people? You mentioned a lot of these are new. Was that handoff? How was the handoff from the previous administration, as I call it, but previous mayor to you? How was the handoff there?
That's a good question. I have great respect for Mayor Johnson because I sit in the chair that he sat in. I have great respect for Mayor Wilson.
Yes.
Mayor Greenwood, everyone who's come, just simply because now I understand. Mayor Johnson, I went and visited Mayor Johnson. I saw him during the campaign a time or two. Sure. Chatted with him, shook his hand. I visited with the city administrator one time. Yeah. So I did not get overly involved with the city or the administration during the campaign almost at all. Yeah. Once I was elected, Mayor Johnson was wonderful. I sat down. If I had questions, he was good to answer them. The city staff had me in. We went through. I met with every department head, asked my questions. They were wonderful. And that's why I think, and you're a resident here, I think the transition was pretty smooth. Yeah. And we're still working through some of those things. 150 days in, we're still working through some of those. And those changes happen. But they were very amiable, very easy to work with. Our city staff was ready to step up and I'm not Mayor Johnson. He and I see things different, and that's okay. That's the beauty of it. And so we've enacted a little bit of changes, but we didn't. I never ever saw a point in coming and shaking the whole thing out. We have some people with some knowledge that have been here 30, 40 years that know a lot of things that are ready and willing to help. And I think that's the beauty of the transition, is bring some fresh ideas to the table and let's work through them. But the transition was very good. They were remarkable to work with as we met with each person, each department head. I am a people guy, so I show up. I walk in our water department. I walked in our cemetery. I went over to the cemetery. I was driving by one day. I pull in, get out, go in and meet the guys. The guys and gals that, again, make us who we are. And that's the beauty of it. So, but the transition's been, in my opinion, very good, very seamless.
Yeah. Good. To your point, because the city is made up of, the heads, the people that we see, but there's a lot of the administrative staff that are doing a lot of the things that probably help with that transition too.
100%.
That's okay. Good. We've covered a lot of things here.
Yeah, it's been great.
This has been great. We've covered a lot of things. Is there anything that we haven't covered that you wanted to talk about?
No, other than I guess my invitation to Lehi is come out, come be part of it. I don't know that we have to really extend that invitation, because I really do think we have a very involved community.
Yeah, we do.
And I think that's what's so great about it. But come be involved, come smile, come have some fun. I think sometimes we take life a little too serious.
Sure.
Come and have a great time. Bring your families, bring your kids, bring your grandkids. But come and enjoy what this great city has to offer. The city's just going to continue to get better. We, like I said, we have struggles. We have issues. Right now, water's a big problem. Yeah. And I'm the biggest water guy in the city. I love to water my green grass. I love to have beautiful green grass.
I agree.
And in meeting with our water department this year, I've never watched people, I could care less when people were watering their grass. I care now. I really care. Yeah. So you learn over some times, right?
Yes.
But like I said, it's a strength in our hometown. And last night we were able to honor the boys volleyball team at Lehi that won the state championship. And Skyridge just won the lacrosse boys state championship, and we'll honor them. And I went to both high school graduations last week, and to watch 1,700 kids receive a diploma. There's so many remarkable things happening that it's crazy. You see a bunch of 17, 18-year-old kids graduate from high school, and I walk in that room and think to myself, here I was 30, 35 years ago. Yeah. And this is the generation that will take us all to the next level. I'm almost tapped out of that, right? I'm 50 years old. I've been in the workforce now for my 30 years and 25, 30 years. And now I'm not necessarily at the sunset of that, but I'm on the backside of it, which I never thought I would say. Yeah. But as you walk and you see the strength of these young kids and the innovations and those things that are happening, they're mind-blowing. But to be involved in it, to be part of it, has just been an absolute joy. And I would tell you, as many hard days as we've had in 150, we've had equally or more of the good days. And to me, it's what it's all about, and I love it. It's been good. It's been good to us. It's been good to my family. We're busy. Yeah. That's probably the one thing I've learned is it's busy. Yeah. I know the Lehi mayor is a part-time job, but it does require full-time hours, and you're going. But it has just been an absolute thrill, and we've enjoyed it. And like I told you, in 4 years, if we opt to run again, great. Yeah. If we don't, then it's been a great run and some wonderful experience for us and for our family, and hopefully for the citizens of Lehi. But we've been, so far, so good. We'll keep going.
And I appreciate that. I think you, again, you're doing what we all want people to be doing, which is, hey, let's just try to give back in a way to try to help people. And again, we all think differently. Yep. And so that's why councils are so important. Yep. We council together and different viewpoints and stuff like that. But ultimately, as you've said earlier, get involved, right? You just get out there and do things. And that's where you'll find, I think, hey, the ability to help other people, right? And to make a community. And again, I would go back to, that's what really makes this community great, is you have so many people that agree with that comment, which is, hey, I'm going to get involved. Yep. I'm going to do stuff.
Doug Webb, I think you know Doug Webb real well. Doug Webb used to always say, one of the greatest things to leadership is making a good decision out of two good options. Sure. And I'll tell you, that's what we have. There's not a lot of bad options.
Yes.
And those are easy. Yes. Good and bad options are easy.
Yes.
It's when it's a good option and a good option. Yeah. Moving forward, those are the tricky ones. And so you work through that. But ultimately, that's what leadership is, stepping up to the plate and going, that's the good option that I think is the good option going forward, and we'll go with it. But that's it. That's life in general, right? Yep. We all deal with good and good decisions.
We do.
Because the good and bad ones are easy. It's the good and good ones that are hard.
Yeah, they are. And a lot of times you are choosing between two good options. Yeah. But we appreciate all you're doing as a community. That. And we'll have to have you on in another year or so and check in with you again.
I'm thrilled to come back,
Just but I think that's what I love about this community is that it is a community, right?
Yep.
And we're trying to build something together as a group. And we all play our different roles. No one person's super important.
No.
And I think that's what makes it good.
Yeah.
Because we don't need just one person to be important.
Right.
And so, anyhow, I appreciate all you're doing.
Yep. Thanks for having me on. And I would be thrilled to come back whenever. So you call us and let us know what we need to do it for you.
Sounds good. Thanks, Paul. Appreciate you.
Thank you for joining us on Roots and Branches of Lehi. I hope today's story helped you feel a little more connected to the people who make up our community. Remember, every person here has a unique story, and together, we're what makes Lehi feel like home. If you know someone who would be a great fit for this podcast, please fill out the form in the show notes so we can reach out and schedule an interview. We'd love to hear from you. A big thank you to our sponsors, the Work Harding Home Mortgage Team and Play Harding Nightly Vacation Rentals, for supporting this show and helping us bring our community closer together. Until next time, keep growing those roots and reaching out to your branches. Take care.